Martell Holt's world has just been flipped upside down, and this time, no amount of charm, denial, or TV drama can smooth it over. Imagine this: a man who once strutted through life with the polished glow of a reality star, the confidence of a businessman, and the arrogance of someone who thought he could outmaneuver consequences, suddenly cornered by the FBI, red-handed, at a crime scene. The whispers are no longer whispers. The speculation is no longer speculation. This isn't scripted drama for ratings, it's real life, and the cameras capturing it now are federal, not reality TV. And the truth? It's shaking everyone instantly. Martell Holt has always been a polarizing figure, but nobody expected it to come to this. For years, he's walked a tightrope between scandal and reinvention. But when the FBI shows up, when agents are on the ground and evidence is undeniable, there's no editing room to rescue your reputation. The man who once built his name on love and marriage, Huntsville, now finds his entire identity tied to something darker, heavier, and far more permanent: a federal crime. To understand how Martell got here, we have to backtrack. Before the flashing lights, before the agents, before the headlines screaming betrayal and downfall, Martell was supposed to be a success story. A self-made man from Huntsville who leveraged his good looks, business ambition, and reality TV exposure into something bigger. He had the chance to build generational wealth, to be admired as more than just another TV personality. And for a while, it worked. He was that man: the husband, the entrepreneur, the face of a booming reality show. But cracks started to show early on. Infidelity wasn't just a rumor, it became the storyline that defined his marriage and his image. Fans watched in real time as his marriage to Melody Sherry crumbled under the weight of lies and betrayal. Every confession, every tear, every explosive fight played out on screen, but what many didn't see was what happened behind those cameras. Business deals began to falter. Partnerships grew shaky. His once golden image was corroding. And when the personal imploded, the professional followed. Martell's pride wouldn't let him step back. Instead, he doubled down. Lavish appearances, risky business moves, constant attempts to control the narrative. But here's the twist: when pride blinds you, mistakes multiply. And Martell made the biggest mistake of all, believing he could play games in a space where the FBI was already watching. Reports say the FBI had been monitoring Martell for months. Financial discrepancies, suspicious movements, conversations that raised red flags. At first, it sounded like whispers. People brushed it off as haters trying to tear him down. But what nobody expected was the day agents would step in, seizing the moment when Martell crossed the line from drama to disaster. The crime scene wasn't a movie set. It was reality, raw and unedited. Martell Holt was caught red-handed, and the shockwaves hit instantly. The internet lit up, fans divided between disbelief and "I told you so." Some couldn't believe the man they'd rooted for had fallen this far. Others said it was only a matter of time. But what truly stings is the emotional fallout. This isn't just about Martell losing face. This is about children who now have to see their father's name tied to the FBI. This is about a family forced once again into public humiliation. This is about a community realizing that the man they once celebrated as proof of Black excellence in business and television is now an example of how quickly pride, scandal, and reckless choices can destroy everything. And yet, Martell's story doesn't end here. The legal storm is just beginning. Federal cases don't move quickly, but when they move, they hit hard. This isn't just about headlines, it's about consequences that will last for years, maybe decades. The question now isn't whether Martell Holt will survive this moment, it's what pieces of his life will be left when the storm clears. The businessman? The reality star? The father? Or just the man who thought he could outsmart the FBI, only to find himself standing red-handed in the middle of his own downfall? One thing's for sure, the script has changed forever. And this time, Martell isn't the director. The ending belongs to the consequences he can no longer escape. Martell Holt's fall from grace is more than just another reality TV scandal, it's a chilling reminder of how quickly pride, ego, and reckless choices can erase everything you've built. For years, Martell carried himself like a man who could talk his way out of any situation. His smile, his charisma, his ability to spin a narrative always seemed to keep him afloat, even when the truth painted him in a different light. But when the FBI shows up, all that smooth talking and media training goes out the window. What you're left with is raw reality, no scripts, no edits, no way to turn the cameras off. This moment wasn't supposed to happen. Martell once had the world in his hands. He was a husband on a hit reality show, a father of beautiful children, and a businessman who had the chance to create generational wealth. He was proof, at least for a while, that you could come from Huntsville and still build an empire. But the empire wasn't built on a strong foundation. It was built on lies, betrayal, arrogance, and shortcuts. And shortcuts, especially the kind that catch the FBI's attention, never last. So how did it all crumble? How did a man who had everything to lose still take the risk of throwing it away? That's the haunting question that echoes through this story. People close to Martell say it was pride. Pride kept him from admitting when he was wrong. Pride made him chase validation in all the wrong places, whether it was cheating on his wife, overspending to keep up appearances, or pushing shady business deals to maintain his image as a successful entrepreneur. Pride can make you think you're untouchable. But when the FBI starts watching, no one is untouchable. The day Martell was caught red-handed was the day everything changed. Imagine that moment, agents surrounding him, cameras flashing, evidence in hand. It's the kind of humiliation you can't hide from. It's the kind of reality that no TV show can clean up. For fans who watched his rise on Love and Marriage, Huntsville, the shock was instant. Social media exploded with disbelief, anger, and in some cases, satisfaction. Some people couldn't believe that Martell, the man who once stood as a symbol of success, had fallen so low. Others said they saw it coming, that the arrogance, the excuses, and the constant chasing of fame were red flags all along. But beyond the headlines and the gossip blogs, there's a deeper story here. Martell's children now have to grow up knowing their father's name is tied to a federal crime. His ex-wife, Melody Sherry, who endured years of betrayal and heartbreak in front of millions, is once again dragged into the storm through no fault of her own. And the Huntsville community, which once held Martell up as proof that one of their own could shine, is left shaking its head in disappointment. When the FBI gets involved, it's not a slap on the wrist. It's not a fine you can quietly pay and move on. Federal cases mean serious time, serious consequences, and serious loss. Martell isn't just fighting for his image anymore, he's fighting for his freedom, his reputation, and whatever is left of his legacy. And the legacy question is where things get heavy. What will Martell Holt be remembered for? Will people remember the ambitious young man who once dreamed of success and turned that dream into a reality TV career? Or will they remember the man who let arrogance and reckless decisions destroy everything? That's the tragedy of Martell's story. He had the tools to build something real, something lasting, but he chose shortcuts and lies instead. As this case unfolds, Martell faces a future he never imagined. Federal investigations move slowly, but when the verdict comes, it's final. His every move, his every past decision will be scrutinized. And in the court of public opinion, the trial has already started. But perhaps the saddest part of this story is the what if. What if Martell had humbled himself years ago? What if he had been faithful to his family? What if he had been honest in his business? What if he had cared more about integrity than about keeping up appearances? Those what ifs now haunt him, because no matter how much he wants to turn back the clock, it's too late. Martell Holt's story is a warning. It's a reminder that fame can fade, money can vanish, and pride can blind you. But consequences? They don't disappear. They wait. And when they arrive, they hit harder than you can ever prepare for. As the credits roll on this chapter of Martell's life, we're left with a man who thought he could outsmart everyone: his wife, his friends, his fans, and even the law. But when you're standing in front of the FBI, there's no more pretending. You can't charm your way out of handcuffs. You can't edit the truth. You can't run from consequences that have been chasing you all along. So here we are. Martell Holt, once a star, now a cautionary tale. His story is no longer about love, marriage, or reality TV. It's about downfall, regret, and the heavy price of arrogance. And maybe, just maybe, it's about a man who had everything but lost it all because he couldn't stop himself from reaching for more, even when it meant crossing the line. The final chapter hasn't been written yet, the court will decide that. But the damage is already done. His name will forever carry the weight of this scandal. His children will always know the truth of what happened. And his community will never forget the moment their star was caught, not on TV, but by the FBI, red-handed. Martell Holt wanted to be remembered as a success story. Instead, he's become a warning. And maybe that's the harshest truth of all. And his community will never forget the moment their star was caught, not on TV, but by the FBI, red-handed. Martell Holt wanted to be remembered as a success story. Instead, he's become a warning. And maybe that's the harshest truth of all.